Indie games are the backbone of modern gaming. I've said that many times before on this channel. Indie developers and publishers consistently put out creative, exciting experiences that the AAA scene often overlooks. They experiment with new mechanics, unique art styles, and gameplay ideas that the bigger studios usually won't touch. Indie games fill niches, take risks, and give players the chance to experience some weird, wild, and generally original ideas. That's why for today's eShop video, I'm taking a bit of a step back from the usual lineup to focus entirely on indie titles. Today's video contains some fun indie titles that are currently on sale in the eShop, many with some pretty deep discounts, and I think these games are absolutely worth checking out. Let's dive into it. Justice Sucks is a really weird game. This game has you playing as a robot vacuum who, after defending his home from burglars, he gets zapped into the living room TV. Now as him, you attempt to escape and you gotta fight back. You need to sneak and use your vacuum robot powers and vacuum your way out of there while taking out enemies that stand in the little robot vacuum's way. It's a silly game, it's really over-the-top crazy, as you can tell from the footage with the mayhem, but it's also quite a sadistic little game too. You gotta suck up and use items to take out the enemies for good, and then vacuum up the blood and deal with the bodies. Yeah, this one's a bit bonkers, nothing's off limits in this one, it's freaking nuts. The core gameplay is fun. You gotta balance stealth, learning when and where to sneak and such, with taking action and bringing pain to the bad guys. And once you get the hang of things, this one becomes a pretty addicting game. It's a nice mix of stealth, some strategy, and action. I think it's a gem. It's on sale with a 75% off discount, a nice sized one for sure. So it's just $4.99 on the US eShop. For $5, it's worth giving this one a go. I'm a big fan of rhythm games, and this is one of the more unique ones that I've come across. In Rhythm Sprout, you play as a little onion knight that goes on an adventure. You gotta time his steps and attacks to the beat of the music. This game has a pretty goofy tone to it, especially when it comes to the story. It's very self-aware about the nature of the game and how silly it is, and that charm really adds to the experience. The soundtrack for the game pulls inspiration from a huge variety of genres, including K-pop, drum and bass, disco, lo-fi, hip-hop, EDM, metal, and more. So yeah, it makes for a pretty eclectic soundtrack, but you know what? That helps keep the game feeling fresh throughout. The gameplay itself is easy to pick up and play, but this game does offer plenty of challenge for players who want to master it. Beyond the main story mode, there are extra challenge options and modifiers to mess around with, like turbo mode to speed things up, shuffle notes, and even mirror mode. Overall, I found it to be a pretty fun and silly rhythm game, and with its current discount bringing it down to just $3.74 on the US eShop, I think it's absolutely worth checking out if you're a fan of rhythm games. For just a few bucks, there's a surprising amount of content here, so you're definitely going to get your money's worth. A modern sequel to the somewhat hidden gem Neo Geo arcade game, Andro Dunos II is an awesome retro-style shoot-'em-up that fans of the genre will love. Featuring some strong level design, a much improved weapon system over the first game, and some fantastic boss battles, this game is a real treat. Players in Andro Dunos II start the game with 4 weapons that can be switched between on the fly, and each one can be upgraded by collecting power-ups. Each weapon has its own kind of use depending on the situation, especially during boss fights, so succeeding means learning how to use and master all of them rather than just relying too heavily on a single favorite. It encourages players to get comfortable using every weapon and experiment to find what works best for each challenge. A lot of shoot-'em-ups struggle to make multiple weapons feel equally useful, but Andro Dunos II succeeds in that. You know what? That helps make this one a standout in the genre. With just a 85% off discount, it's on sale for just $2.99 on the US eShop. You absolutely should check it out if you're a fan of shoot-'em-ups. If you like the original Metal Gear games, the old 8-bit ones, then you'll like a game called UnMetal. This game is heavily inspired by those games. It's very much in that style, albeit with modern conveniences and a lot more humor this time around. This game has you playing as a man named Jesse Fox, who finds himself imprisoned in a military base for a crime he just didn't commit. Now he must escape using whatever he can find throughout the base, including weapons, explosives, gadgets, and lots more, along with using his quick thinking and his very big mouth. As you play, you'll gain experience and unlock new skills that open up additional possibilities for your escape. As I mentioned before, this game is packed with humor. It takes jabs at just about everything, featuring a ton of gaming and movie references, along with some pretty hilarious scenarios to discover along the way. But don't overlook the core gameplay. It's generally solid, and it rewards players who think outside the box. Much like the later Metal Gear games, there's almost always more than one solution to a problem in this game. Definitely check this one out if you're looking for a good stealth action game that scratches that Metal Gear itch, while also giving you plenty of laughs. With a 75% off discount, it's on sale for $4.99 on the US eShop. It's pretty cheap and totally worth picking up. Streets of Rogue is one of those games that's kinda hard to neatly categorize, and that exactly is what makes it so interesting. At its core, it's a top-down action RPG with roguelike structure, but it constantly bends its own rules. Instead of pushing you into a single playstyle, it gives you a wide roster of characters: soldiers, hackers, doctors, vampires, gorillas, and more, each with completely different ways to approach objectives. One run might have you going in guns blazing, while another one lets you talk, sneak, hack, bribe, or even manipulate systems in ways that feel almost improvised. This game takes place in a chaotic, procedurally generated city, where each floor is a new district filled with random events, enemy factions, and objectives. There's rarely just one correct solution to a problem. You might break into a building through the front door with brute force, or hack your way in through security systems, or set up an elaborate chain reaction using the environment and NPC behavior. What really makes this one stand out is how flexible and unpredictable it feels from moment to moment. It encourages experimentation rather than just mastery of a single optimal path. The game rarely punishes you for trying something weird. It often rewards it. If you're looking for a roguelike that leans more into creativity, freedom, and absurd humor rather than just strict optimization, then you should check out Streets of Rogue. With its current discount of 75% off, I think it's a steal. You can get it for just $4.99 by itself, or with the DLC character pack that adds a bunch of different playable characters for $5.74. Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons is a beat-em-up that's in the spirit of the classic Double Dragon games, but it introduces several new ideas to help it stand out from the rest of the series. For starters, this game incorporates roguelike elements, and it has players controlling a tag team pair of characters instead of just a single fighter, and your goal is to take down 4 different gangs in any order you choose. As you play, level layouts, enemy placements, items, and more are randomized, making each run feel a little different. Along the way, you'll be able to choose upgrades that strengthen your characters and unlock new abilities. That gives the game a progression system that feels somewhat reminiscent of the sister Tinykin series. One of the game's biggest strengths is its flexibility. You can fully customize the game to suit your preferences, including the difficulty settings, allowing you to make the game as easy or as challenging as you want. There's also a large roster of unlockable characters, along with both local and online co-op. Plus there's extra modes to play, like Survival and Versus. Now, that aside, what I've really appreciated about this game is the fact that the developers have done a great job supporting the game after its launch with several post-launch updates, adding a lot of new characters and additional content, which has greatly improved the replay value of the game, and they have done so at no additional cost. they could have gone the paid DLC route, but no, they gave a ton of extras away, all without asking for a single extra cent. I love that. Anyway, this game is currently on sale with a 70% off discount. So if you're interested in a new beat 'em up, then this is definitely worth checking out at its $7.49 sale price tag. Tinykin is a really neat spin on the gameplay concept of Pikmin. In this game, you still collect and guide groups of tiny creatures, very much like you do in the Nintendo's Pikmin games, but Tinykin isn't really a strategy game like the Pikmin games are. Instead, this one leans more heavily into platforming, with some light action elements mixed in. You'll use the Tinykin's different abilities to create ladders and bridges, move objects, solve puzzles, and open new paths as you explore the game's colorful environments. Along the way, you'll also get to meet and interact with a variety of charming characters. So yeah, this game isn't a strategy game, it's more of a platforming action-adventure game. And that's kind of cool. They took the Pikmin concept and they morphed it into a different genre. Anyway, I like this game a lot. It's a cozy, relaxing game that I feel is easy to recommend to all players of all skill levels. There's a demo on the eShop that you can check out, and after checking out the demo, you like that and you want to pick it up, well, now is a great time to do so. It's got a 75% off discount. It's just $6.24 on the US eShop. And there you go. That's a selection of indie games from the eShop that you might have missed, but I feel are definitely worth checking out, especially at their current discounted prices. Let me know down below in a comment if you played any of these games before, or are planning to pick any of these games up. In the meantime, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss out on any future videos. Do a lot of these eShop highlights, game recommendations, reviews, and much more. So if you like the sound of that, then make sure to subscribe today. That's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you soon on the next video.